from 5 overs to 7 overs, and gradually it increased. When in fact, I remember, one incident when Bishan Bedi was the captain at Wankhede Stadium in 1976-77, and for some reason, he had to go in. He was leading the side, and he had to go to the dressing room, and he just, give a captainship to Sunil Gavaskar, and he said, "You take over." And as soon as the Bishan went in, Sunil Gavaskar, threw a ball at me. He said, "Carson, you bowl the spin bowling." So I started bowling spin. I picked up 5 wickets, 5-4-35 against England. And the Englands were all out. And we were just, approaching the dressing room. And just before I entered the dressing room, Bishan Bedi, caught hold of me. He said, I thought, he'll mujhe gale laga lega, shabash dega. He said, "आज के बाद spin bowling करना छोड़ दो तुम." मैंने कहा, "बारा पाजी, अभी तो मैंने 5 विकेट लिया है." वो बोला, "अगर तुम 5 विकेट लेने लगोगे तो मैं क्या करूँगा फिर?" So anyway, in my entire career, I got an opportunity only twice to bowl spin. But the rest of the wickets came in with the new ball. And I tell you one thing. I mean, those were the most prominent superstar spinners India ever had. And that kind of the spinner quality spinners we haven't got even today. Thank you.
I think I'll come back to you, Mr. Gowri. But, this was a great learning from you. We thought, this increments happens only in business or only in, when you are in serving somebody. Every year I think of, okay, next year I'll get an increment. This is a very good story about your, factual thing, that you got increment, test after test. Pehle 2 over, फिर 5 over, फिर 7 over. I think this was something amazing. And this was the fast bowling, which we were talking about years back. I think you have changed the era of your fast bowling from India, where we had spinners, to this fast bowlers. Something great. I'll come back to you again. Coming to Kamlesh Bhai, I think I can take liberty, Kamlesh Bhai, to ask a question in Gujarati, because that would be appreciated by many of us. Kamlesh Bhai, તમે 8 વખત national champion થઈ ચૂક્યા છો, and it takes a lot, to be a 8 times national champion. Some experiences of yours for this 8-time national champion, sir.
સૌપ્રથમ સૌને નમસ્કાર. જ્યારે રમવાનું ચાલુ કર્યું ને ત્યારે તો કંઈ ઈચ્છા એવું કંઈ હતું નહીં કે ચેમ્પિયન પણ બનીશ કરીને. અને ખાસ કરીને આપણે ગુજરાતીઓ રમતમાં કંઈ બહુ ખાસ હું ઘણા વખત ચેમ્પિયન થયો ને ત્યારે બહાર જતો ને નોર્થમાં, તો બધા મને પંજાબી મહેતા સમજતા, કારણ કે એ લોકોની ખાતરી હતી કે ગુજરાતી મહેતા તો હોઈ જ ન શકે. કે હું હંમેશા કહું છું બધે કે જ્યાં પસીનો બહાવાનો હોય ત્યાં ગુજરાતીઓ ન હોય. પણ મારા સૌભાગ્ય હતા કે હું એવા પરિવારમાં મારો જન્મ થયો કે ત્યાં મારા પિતાશ્રી એક્ઝામના દિવસો પણ, અહીંયા ઘણા માતા પિતાઓને જરા ધચકો લાગશે, સાંભળી લેજો, એક્ઝામના દિવસો પણ મને પહેલું પ્રશ્ન એ પૂછે, એમ ન પૂછે કે તમારું પેપર કેવું ગયું, આજે રમવા ગયો તો. અને આજના કાળમાં આપણને બધાને ખબર છે કે 10મી ને 12મી હોય તો ઘરમાં કેવું કર્ફ્યુ લાગી જાય છે. અને હું એ જ બિલ્ડિંગમાં રહેતો જેમાં અતુલ રહેતો હતો, એટલે અમે સાથે ગોટીને ભવરા ને ગીલી દાંડુ બધું રમ્યા છે. અને ત્યાંથી છે ને માટોંગ જીમખાના જ્યાં મેં ચાલુ કર્યું, એ મારે ચાલીને જવું હતું, અડધો કલાક લાગતો, તો ઘણીવાર કંટાળો પણ આવતો. એટલે કાંઈ ને કાંઈ બહાના ગોતતા કે નહીં જવા માટે. પણ જેવા પપ્પા દુકાનેથી ઘરે આવે એટલે સૌથી પ્રથમ પ્રશ્ન એ જ હોય, આજે રમવા ગયો તો? એટલે હું કહું, નહીં, આજે મારી તો પરીક્ષા છે, આમ છે. તો મને કે પરીક્ષા છે તો શું થઈ ગયું? આમ તું 2 કલાક રમે છે, તો પરીક્ષા 40 મિનિટ રમ, પણ રમવા જવાનું. એમનું સતત માનવું હતું કે રમવાથી આપણને ઘણા બધા ગુણો આપણામાં આવે છે. અને એ કે ઇંગ્લિશ એ કે બ્રિટિશોરે બહુ સરસ શબ્દ આપ્યો છે રમવાને, રિક્રિએશન. એ કે તમે રમવાથી તમારી એનર્જી રિક્રિએટ થાય છે. તમે થાકેલા પણ હો છો ને તમે ફ્રેશ થાઓ છો. તમને માનવામાં ના આવે તો ક્યારેક ટ્રાય કરજો. જે દિવસે તમે બહુ થાકેલા હો ને તો કોઈ પણ એક રમતમાં રમવા જજો, તમને થકી જવાને બદલે તમે વધારે ફ્રેશ થશો. તો એમનું એ બહુ પ્રિન્સિપલ હતું કે કોઈ પણ ગેમમાં તમારે ટોચ પર પહોંચવાનું, એના માટે તમારે સતત મહેનત કરતા રહેવાનું. મહેનત સાથે સાથે એ કે ભગવાનને સાથે રાખવાનો છે. એટલે અમારા ઘરમાં પ્રાર્થના એકદમ બહુ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ હતી. એટલે મેં એમ કહું છું ને કે 8 વખત નેશનલ ચેમ્પિયન જ્યારે મેં પેલા બેટ રમીને રમવા ગયો ત્યારે એવું ક્યારેય સપનામાં નહોતું વિચાર્યું કે હું નેશનલ ચેમ્પિયન પણ બનીશ. અને 8 વાર તો જરાય નહીં. પણ આ સાતત્યથી ધીરે ધીરે કન્ટિન્યુટી રાખી, મહેનત કરવાની અને ભગવાન ઉપર વિશ્વાસ રાખી અને આગળ વધવાનો, આ મને લાગે છે 3 પ્રિન્સિપલ્સ હતા જે મને આ રીતે 8 વાર નેશનલ ચેમ્પિયન બનવાની મને શક્તિ આપી. થેન્ક યુ.
કમલેશભાઈ, ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર. તમે ને હું આપણે ગોટીઓ ભેગા રમતા હતા, હું હજી ગોટીઓ જ રમું છું ને તમે નેશનલ ચેમ્પિયન ક્યાંક ના ક્યાંક થઈ ગયા. Next is Mickey sir. I would like to ask a question to you, and that is, you are being known as wellness guru of India. Now, at times, I was understanding and trying to understand what is difference between wellness and fitness, because generally I always see it is a fitness. Here, what you are being generally told as wellness guru. What is that difference of wellness and fitness? If you can throw some light on that, I think that would be great.
નાનજી ભાઈ, વેલજી ભાઈ, બધા કેમ છો?
અરે વાહ વાહ વાહ, excellent, excellent.
મારા ભગવાન સ્વરૂપ મિત્ર નિતિન ભાઈ, thank you for letting me be here. So, in the perspective of sports, I will give this answer. One could answer this in very many perspectives because there is no one single answer to any question in life. If you want to win a game, then fitness plays a role. If you want to enjoy a game and evolve, then wellness plays a very important role. Fitness is perishable, wellness perpetuates, bees with you forever. Fitness is confined to your musculoskeletal structure. Fitness is confined to your agility, endurance, strength, stamina. Wellness helps you elevate your soul. It makes you complete. You progress in life, not just materialistically, but also soulfully, spiritually. And in wellness, you get integrated. You become whole. You become complete. And when you become complete, you become meaningful. So fitness probably is not so meaningful. Wellness gives you a lot of meaning to life. Wellness makes you add meaning to life. So when you master wellness, you understand your objective, the purpose of your birth, and you add value to this universe by far, and to mankind, environment, to this world and its progress. So on the ladder of evolution, I would say fitness comes at the bottom of the pyramid, which is strength, stamina, agility, body fat ratio, and fitness is over. Doesn't have anything more to offer. But on the second rung, you find health. So health is derived from Latin, heal thy, heal them, heal thou. And health is organic soundness, organic wellness. It puts you together as a totality. On the level 3 is wellness. Wellness gives you heightened immunity. Wellness gives you psychological equilibrium, emotional quotient also, along with the other things what fitness and health gives you. And then at the apex level, at the top of the pyramid is well-being. Well-being is where you evolve. And there, wellness means healing. It becomes well-being, and well-being means healing. and healing your thought, creative thoughts, healing your attitude, optimistic attitude, healing your behavior, constructive behavior, and healing everything that you do. And then what comes to fore in well-being, where, you grow as a human being, a multifold, you take a quantum jump in your spiritual growth and evolution. That is, benevolence comes to you, philanthropy comes to you, compassion comes to you, forgiveness comes to you, blessing comes to you. You become a co-creator of your destiny and the destiny of the world. So you become godly. I could speak a couple of hours on this, or rather, standing here all day, I could keep speaking on this, but I'll allow my fellow achievers to speak too. Thank you so much.
I think a great answer, and I would say कि ये पूरी एक सागर को आपने गागर में भर के हमारे समक्ष रख दिया है.
Just like to tell you something. My parents used to tell me कि तू कसरत करीने શું કરવાનો. So when I was 12, I used to lock myself into a room and I used to practice martial arts because that is where I started. And there used to be a puddle of, huge puddle of water. That was my sweat. And that sweat has brought me here today.
Oh, excellent.
Also, most important thing, when people asked me, okay, why don't you become a doctor, engineer, designer, accountant? I said, I'll become so successful that I will hire accountants, doctors, engineers to work for me. Then somebody asked me, why don't you want to continue and pursue sports? I said, sportsmen fade away. I will be a kingmaker always in my life. Thank you.
I think excellent thought process, great goal setting, and excellent execution of the mindset which you had maybe right from the very young age. And the clarity of the thoughts which are there, amazing, mind-boggling.
Thank you so much.
Coming to Samsung, sir, you have been, working very closely for last couple of months. And I was amazed, You just won a bronze medal, maybe, and earlier also 2012, today again in 2015, in a run at South Africa, and covering around 87 kilometers in around 10 hours and few minutes. I think this is a superhuman effort. How can a man run for such a long distances, and that too for 10 hours? Sir, something on that. Give us the secrets.
Well, good morning, everyone. How can man run 88? Well, there are so many men and women doing much longer races also. If you want to know in a nutshell how it happened with me, if you have the passion to run, I think 88 is too short a distance. There are races where it is multi-stage, multi-days, ultra marathons, and there are people who have been doing this not because they are physically strong. It is all to do with your mental strength also. And I think Mickey put it so very well. It's a little above fitness. If you just sit tight with fitness, I doubt we can be doing ultra marathons anywhere. And it's not with me, it's with most other ultra marathon runners also. It's a lot to do with your mental strength. I know this edition that we just had on the 31st of May, there are people who logged in more than must be 120, 150 kilometers per week in their training and still went down by the wayside. They couldn't complete this race. And there are others who ran shorter distances during training time and still could manage this ultra marathon. And a question was posed to them to know how do they do this so very well. Let me tell you, at one given time when you hit the wall, there's something called hitting the wall when physically you can't take this body ahead. And I think it could be happening to most other sportsmen also. When you hit the wall and you don't know how to progress, that's the time when your mental strength takes you ahead. I experienced this as 2012. I experienced this again this year. And I could tell you that it all happened because of that little mental strength, the little boost that I got with a lot of trainees, friends, and you don't ask, people in US and Singapore and Australia were all praying for my success. And today I want to highlight one thing is, there is nothing to beat prayer. Okay, prayer can move mountains. And I owe this success not to my physical or my mental strength. All these things could be, triggered or put into place only because of prayer. And I think with this little prayer that came from everyone, I know of someone who said, "Sir, we started at 5:30 in the morning there in Durban, and here it was 9 o'clock. Sir, पौने 9 को ना मेरा दिया जलाया मैंने मंदिर में, घर के मंदिर में. And we only put it off after you finished your race." So much of faith, so much of trust, and so much of prayerfulness. I think we all have to indulge in this, and then I'm sure we're going to win laurels. Here is a lady, iron lady, who's battling the establishment and doing so many things. Whenever I read about her and Ashwini and Jwala, I really empathize and sympathize. But I think it all happens because they are mentally very strong, I'm sure. And that is why they have been reaching glorious heights. So running 88 is no big deal. I think I'm thinking of running 100 in Ladakh, where people say, "Hey, mar jayega, jao mat." Then I'm thinking of doing another 200 or 300 kilometers race later on. But I think with a little training and prayers from all of them who know me, I think I can do it. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Sir, I'll come back to again I'll come back to you, but one thing I could make out the common thing between the two speakers just now who spoke, Mickey and Samsung sir. Mickey talked about spiritual things, there are so many things which he talked about prayer. So there are so many inner things within us inside which we don't know what are the powers which we are having. Probably both these speakers said, yes, this is something great where you concentrate on this and something absolutely great happens. Coming to next, Ashwini, first of all, congratulations to you. You made all Indians proud by winning Canada Open. We are really privileged to have you here at this place amongst all of this, and all of us would remember this event for years to come. This was something absolutely great.
Thank you so much.
Just last Sunday, you along with Jwala created a history by winning Canadian Open. You are the first Indian ever to win this championship in Canada since it started, I think, somewhere in 1957. Tell us how different it is playing in Canada as compared to India, and why did it take so long for an Indian to win this in Canada? Please.
Well, firstly, a very good morning to all of you. I'm extremely happy to be among such established and accomplished people here today. Thank you for having me. And as for the Canadian Open, it's been a while since Jwala and I have won a tournament. Last tournament that we won was in the 2010 Delhi Commonwealth Games. So it felt really fantastic for us to go into the Canadian Open and win the tournament. Well, since we play doubles, for us basically to do well, we have to take on a lot of tournaments and also battle a lot of internal, mental, and external things. And going into the tournament, I think this time when Jwala and I went into the Canadian Open, we were mentally relaxed. And as the two previous speakers rightly said, everything has to do with mental aspect. And I don't think it's just the physical fitness. I'm learning that it's also the wellness aspect of things that really require a sports person to excel at the highest level. So one of the things that helped Jwala and me was the fact that we were relaxed. We played the US Open and we lost in the semifinals. And personally, I wasn't too happy with my performance there because mentally I wasn't all that strong. And that made all the difference in the semifinals match that we lost. And fortunately, we had another tournament right after the US Open where I could make up for the mistakes that I'd made at the US Open. And I realized that I had to get mentally tougher and relax and enjoy the process. Because I think one of the most important things for one to excel in whatever they do is to be calm, relax, and enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, and not be really tensed about the outcome. You've got to take it one point at a time, one match at a time. And that's what I did, and I focused on doing that. And Jwala as well, as a pair, the two of us were more relaxed, and it helped a lot because we were just focusing on one match, focusing on one point, and taking it one step at a time, and that helped us. And before we knew it, we had reached the finals of the Canadian Open, and we ended up winning, which was absolutely fantastic, and it felt really great. And it also felt extremely amazing to have won in a crowd where the stadium was actually pretty full, which was surprising. And I was really happy to see that a lot of spectators were present there for the finals. And I'm glad that we enjoyed and we won for the first time at the Canadian Open. And I